So, Slayers. In short, this guy called Maddox sends you on a quest to kill dangerous beasts, and in return, he pays you coins. No, that was a joke. He pays you nothing. In fact, you have to pay him coins. Now, I don't have experience, but I don't think that's how being a hitman works. Anyways, I'm splitting this video into two parts because I want to go into detail about everything important. And so this part will focus on zombie, spider and wolf slayer, and the next one will be all about tall men. Got that? Okay. If you have no idea what slayers are, here's a very brief overview. You start the slayer quest, kill the specified mobs over and over to spawn the boss, kill it, and repeat. If you're doing a zombie slayer quest, then you gotta kill zombies to spawn the boss, and so on. Killing the boss will award you Slayer XP, which is used to level up your Slayer level, unlocking new recipes, items, and drops along the way. That's basically it. Slayer makes it sound like some epic battle, but in reality it's just bullying the same guy over and over again. Starting off with Zombie Slayer, I'm gonna be honest, this guy has a severe case of the skill issue. He's generally very easy to kill, and the only thing you really have to watch out for is to not stand still for too long, or he will send you flying. Oh yeah, and he will insta-kill you if you aren't subscribed to my channel, so go do that. And please gently tap the like button as well. Anyways, whatever gear you already have should be good enough to deal with Revenant Horrors 1 through 3. If you are having trouble though, I recommend getting a Wand of Healing and a Revenant Falchion as soon as possible. This will greatly increase your damage and survivability. Similarly to the first 3, Revenant Horror 4 is also pretty easy. If you aren't able to kill it with your previous setup, using a standard mid-game Berserker armor like 2/4 Shadow Assassin, Tarantula Helmet and Zombie Knight Chestplate should do the trick, although this is probably a bit overkill. Also, upgrade your Revenant Falchion to a Reaper Falchion as soon as you unlock it. Oh yeah, and at this point you should consider investing in a Wolf Pet, as it just gives a 30% combat XP boost, which in turn means spawning the boss 30% faster. Speaking of spawning the boss faster, the explosive bow is a cheap and very good tool for killing crypt ghouls. Instead of coming up to each one individually and having a deep political conversation with them before slicing them up with your sword when they disagree with your pineapple on pizza take, you just blow them up. Hey, pineapple on pizza, yes, no? Yes! But if you aren't one-shotting crypt ghouls with it, you should probably use something else. The 5th tier of the Zombie Slayer is a completely different beast though. It constantly throws TNT at you, so you can never remain still, and does its lightning attack once in a while, which will one-shot you if you stand within it. But it gives you like 3 years to get out of the radius, so it's very easy to avoid. It takes a bit of getting used to, but this fella also isn't particularly difficult to beat. You just need much better gear than before. The Reaper Falchion is still alright, but it's practically necessary to put one for all on it at this point. You could also go for its upgrade, the Axe of the Shredded, which is just better in every single way. As for armor, 2/4 Shadow Assassin, Tarantula Helmet and Zombie Knight Chestplate might still work, but if it doesn't, swapping to a Tarantula Helmet plus 3/4 Necron should do the job. If you're having trouble surviving versus the boss, just upgrade your trusty Wand of Healing from before, and invest in an auto pet to equip Wolf on Slayer quest start and an EHP or damage pet for the boss. For killing crypt ghouls, you can choose to stick with your explosive bow or go for something like a Frozen Scythe or Flower of Truth. It's really up to you. And as for the best possible setup, it's similar, swapping out the Tarantula Helmet for a Warden Helmet, and if you really want Magic Find to find who asked, you can also try swapping a piece or two of Necron armor for Sorrow. Also, configure your auto pet to Wolf on Slayer quest start and Black Cat on boss spawn. And if you have a Terminator, definitely use that for killing the crypt ghouls. There's also this special strategy called trading bosses. Basically, you and your friend both do the Slayer quest. When you spawn your boss, you let your friend kill it and the combat XP will go towards their boss, which they let you kill in return. This greatly speeds the process up. Okay, but how profitable is Zombie Slayer? Tiers 1 through 4 are complete doo-doo. There is only one valuable drop, and it is very rare. Tier 5 has 2 even rarer drops, but they're actually incredibly expensive as well, so it's basically either you get really lucky or get nothing at all. I don't recommend doing this as a money-making method. Spider Slayer is the least important of all, and as such, I'll go through it a bit quicker. It has 4 tiers, similar in difficulty to the first 4 Zombie Slayer ones. All of them play in the same way, and their most notable ability is to reduce your healing by half. Now, the general area to grind these in is the big spider cave in the spider's den, but if you can't survive the spiders in there, I recommend killing the ones on the mountain instead. You should be able to defeat the first 3 tiers without much issue. But if you can't, Tarantula armor should do the trick. Although I would just recommend getting 2 for Shadow Assassin, Tarantula helmet and the Zombie Knight chestplate as soon as possible. A lot of this is similar to Zombie Slayer. Use the explosive bow to kill the spiders, or if you can't one-shot them, go for the Flower of Truth instead. There's no good weapon for this until you reach Spider Slayer 6 and unlock the Scorpion foil. Although after the strength nerf, it hits about as hard as your grandma. If you opt for it, make sure it has the thick reforge on it though, and preferably one for all. Alternatively, you can just use a giant sword if you have that. It does more damage anyways.
Bruh.
The legendary Tarantula is just a better wolf for spiders, but the difference isn't that impactful, so it's up to you whether you want to get it or not. Since the tier 4 spider isn't nearly as strong as the tier 5 rev, you can go full sorrow for maximum magic find. But this is honestly stupid, as you should never be doing Spider Slayer for coins. The best drop you can get is worth 2 million coins, so yeah, not worth it. Oh yeah, and trading bosses is really good here. The same strategy applies. Finally, dog. The Sven Packmaster is the strongest of the slayers we've gone over so far, and actually has some cool abilities. The first of these is True Damage. If you don't know what that is, True Damage just ignores defense. Its second ability is to call reinforcements when at half health, which you don't need to kill, but can become annoying very quickly. This boss has a glaring weakness though, water. Whenever you spawn it, you can just go to the nearest body of water, and the previously nimble Sven becomes about as fast as Sadan pulling up his giant. Just like last time, the gear here is very similar. At the start, just use whatever you have, and if you're having trouble, either get massive armor, which should make you pretty much immortal against Sven, or just wait until you get 2 for Shadow Assassin, Tarantula helmet, and well, you know the armor set at this point. As you can see on the graphic on screen now, most of the gear is practically the same. The best armor is either Full Sorrow or 3 for Sorrow plus Sword and Helmet. The best pets are the Wolf and Black Cat, but if you're having trouble killing the boss, use a damage or EHP pet for the boss instead. And the best weapons for spawning the boss are the Explosive Bow and Terminator. Oh, and if you're using the Terminator, I think explosive arrows are a good idea as well. The only thing that's different is the weapons you use. Here you use 3 of them in fact. The Soul's Rebound, the Giant Sword, and the optional but useful Daedalus Axe. You first shoot it with the Soul's Rebound and then slap it with the Giant Sword a few times. This will make it so that the Soul's Rebound will inflict all of the damage onto Sven at once, and therefore skip the Call the Pups phase entirely. Lastly, hold the Daedalus Axe once you know you've hit Sven enough times, and wait for Soul's Rebound to do its thing. It might seem complicated, but it's very simple to do and greatly speeds the whole thing up. Sven is probably the most profitable out of the 3 basic slayers, due to the Overflux Capacitor. It's a rare drop, don't get me wrong, but it's not nearly as rare as the Warden Heart. Wolf Teeth are also pretty expensive, so if you want to do any of these slayers for money, definitely make it this one. The only issue I have with it is that there's about as many wolves in here as in the Sahara Desert. A lot of the time you'll find others there and just have to find a new lobby because this place isn't nearly big enough to share. If the wolves here are too strong for you, you can always go to the castle in the hub instead. And yes, you guessed it, trading Svens with someone is a very good strategy. You should absolutely do it. Pro tip for making it this far. A lot of Slayer drops can sell to NPCs for a good amount of coins. The best example of this is the Toxic Arrow Poison. You should never put this on the auction house and rather just NPC sell it whenever you get it. Same thing for Foul Flesh and Hamster Wheels, but those are sometimes actually more expensive on the bazaar. Okay, see you in part 2. Bye!